Hello, everyone, and thanks for attending our session. I am Paulo, the Sales and Alliances Manager here at Answer Modules, and with me is Patrick Vitali, our CEO and R&D Director. Today, we'd like to discuss how OpenText Content Suite and Extended ECM can be leveraged as platforms to enable remote collaboration and fully digital processes as well. But before jumping into how Content Suite can be utilized to facilitate remote work, I'd like to share some statistics on why we all need to take into consideration the big change, the big shift that is already underway. Currently, as of today, at least in the US, a little less than half of teams have individuals that are 100% remote. However, that number is going to greatly increase. It will actually shoot up to almost 3/4 in less than a decade. That's obviously a fundamental shift to how work will be perceived and how business will be conducted. But as of today, as with any change, there are still some barriers to transitioning to remote work. And one of the biggest is how to efficiently collaborate with our distributed colleagues, managers, suppliers, customers, etc. Now, the key factor or the key factors to collaborating efficiently are seamless communication, streamlined processes, and easy access to information. This is where Content Suite as a platform and our solution Module Suite can come into play. Module Suite is an add-on solution for Content Suite and essentially provides the smartest way and the easiest way of creating and delivering tailored business solutions on top of the Content Suite and Extended ECM platforms. Now, the use cases for Module Suite, there are many, they're quite vast. But for today, we'll focus on how it can facilitate the integration with other systems, such as Zoom, Teams, DocuSign, as well as enhancing the standard functionality of the CSP platform, such as connected workspaces. Now, all these enhancements, they have the objective of really enabling efficient collaborations and streamlining fully digital processes. So to give you a more concrete idea of what exactly this means, I've prepared this say hypothetical scenario in which 4 distinct tools are utilized by the line of business to discuss and finalize a contract 100% remotely. The 4 tools in question, there are Content Suite, Zoom, CoreShare, and CoreSignature. So let's say I need to discuss a document or a contract with my customer. Normally, I would need to set up a Zoom meeting and send the document by email. Instead, in this scenario, directly from Content Suite with one click, I can send out a Zoom invite, create a folder on CoreShare, add the documents, automatically add the documents to that folder, and have that link, the link to those documents in the Zoom invite. So this way, I'm providing all the necessary pre-meeting info in one, let's say, convenient package for my customer. This is all initiated with one click directly from the Content Suite interface, thanks to the automations and integrations done with the Module Suite. Now, let's say that the Zoom session, the discussion with the customer went well, and they are okay with signing that document. So again, with one click, from within Content Suite of one click of a custom menu item, I can initiate the signature process through CoreSignature. Now, once that document has been signed by all parties, it can actually be automatically synced back onto Content Suite in order to have a very streamlined and automated process. So there's no having to go to a different service, downloading the document, and uploading back onto Content Suite. Here, it's all seamlessly integrated to have a very streamlined process. Now, this is a pretty simple scenario, and I just wanted to present it as an example. Obviously, Module Suite is robust enough to enable much more complex and much more dynamic scenarios as well. And with that, I'd like to hand things off to Patrick for the actual demonstration.
Thank you so very much, Paul. And so today we're going to talk about how Model Suite can help in integrating different solutions and to enable remote work in these crazy days. So one of the most interesting things about Model Suite is that Model Suite allows you not just to let content surface on different systems, but literally to have enterprise application developed and on top of the extended ECM platform made available throughout different applications. And this creates a very convenient and coherent user experience as far as certain processes are concerned. So what Model Suite helps you to do is, again, to leverage the capabilities offered and exported by several different services that are very common right now, and to integrate them into the same enterprise application experience. So while extended ECM, for example, for Office, allows you to associate the view of a business or a space within a channel, a team, or a group, Model Suite allows you to do the step forward and to create an enterprise application on top of the OpenText platform and let these applications surface inside the Teams user interface. So Teams is a very interesting starting point because it is probably one of the applications that in these days was most utilized, and it is definitely a central point for collaborations for people all around the world. So when you have people distributed, so no longer working in the same office, in the same space, definitely Teams constitute a very interesting and very appealing virtual environment through which they can collaborate. So with Model Suite, as said, you can integrate processes within it and not just simple content. So when you work with extended ECM for Office 365 and Teams, what you can do is to, if you look at the integration, you have the possibility to download a Microsoft Team app that allows you basically to integrate, as said, the view of business workspaces within either a channel or a group or a team. So when you click on download, a pre-configured Teams app is downloaded for you, and what you need to do in order to install it is to go on your team and install it through custom applications. So, or you or your administrator need to do this for your team's tenant. With Model Suite, we can leverage that capabilities. In fact, with the very unique Smart Pages technologies that we have, we can integrate a functionality of Model Suite directly within perspective associated to connect your spaces. So that worked very well with the standard OpenText application that I installed here. But as said, with Model Suite, you can do a step forward. So what you can do is to, and what I did was to create a very simple script that creates a new Teams application definition. And this new Team application definition relies on a REST API that we have created again with Model Suite and allows us to publish, leveraging the capabilities of Extended ECM for Office 365. Not just a connected workspace or business workspace, but as said, an enterprise application. So as you will see, so basically a solution that is built on top of the capabilities offered by Content Suite, integrated with other systems, and everything keep together with the capabilities offered by Model Suite. So what I do here is just to download this package, go back on Teams, and basically upload this package. So a new contract automation application will become available, and I can just add it to one of my my team. And as you will see, so we have created, as said, a very simple endpoint that basically allows you to auto-configure the application. And so the application that we have generated will configure itself. So there is no need for you to configure. So the configuration, it is actually managed on your behalf directly in the application definition. And when I save it, a new tab will become available within my Answer Modules Professional Services sales team. And this is it. So this is a space in my Content Suite, my Extended ECM for Office 365, in which we have created through Smart Pages in a complete enterprise application that allows us to work around the automation related to the creation of business agreements. So the idea behind this very simple example, so the use case is that you have a sales team in charge of dealing with professional services requests, and so they can have they can work together, they can collaborate to this sales teams and their channels, etc. And you are basically integrating the application that allows them to create new business agreement directly from within Teams, leveraging the capabilities offered by Extended ECM for Office 365 and leveraging all the automation that Model Suite is capable of. So as a starting point for me, as a sales guy, is to go inside my application and start creating a new agreement. So what I can do from here is to look at different templates that were created and that has already been created and made available to me. And so I can select different kind of agreement. I can pick up a supply agreement, a leasing agreement, or a service agreement, which is the one that we are actually going to work to. And as I can see here, so the agreement is not made of a single Word document template. So we're not going to start putting together the information inside a single Word document. On the other hand, we have basically we're managing this agreement as a series of different portions in which we have basically the possibility to manage the different terms, the different conditions, and to let the each term that would be part of agreement having its own life cycle. So the legal team, the compliance team, they can review these documents, they can review each one of them, and we can reuse this portion of documents in several agreements. So we don't need to anytime we want to change, for example, the liability terms for this kind of agreement, we don't have to review all the templates in which liability clauses were present. We can just update this single liability document. So this is a functionality that is made possible by the fact that the Model Suite allows us to assemble basically a new document starting from this series of single Word document. So as said, each one of these documents contains some information. So if I download, for example, as said, the liability, I will be able to see the liability clause related to service agreement. As you see, this is a plain and standard Word document containing just one single clause with the appropriate wording. So some of the documents contains this kind of information. Some of the paragraphs and some of the terms contains placeholders that will be substituted by the frameworks, by Model Suite, when we're going to create the agreement file. And so the interesting aspect here is that Model Suite is not only able to combine several Word documents into one single document, but is also at the same time capable of replacing information within these documents, utilizing information that we are going to collect. And the other obviously interesting thing is that we will help the user in the process of collecting the proper information. So directly from this interface, so directly from Teams, I can look at the explanation related to the statement of work automation, and what we can do is to select all the documents that we think are appropriate. And you can also imagine to have a category associated to it. So we can also imagine to filter, so to categorize these documents or these fragments, for example, on the basis of the country where these agreements will be related to, or for example, the language in which this agreement will be created. So you can imagine to have a complex category that is utilized to categorize all these fragments, and that you can utilize to filter to the figureset view in order to predetermine the set of documents that you are going to utilize to create the agreement. In my case, I can just select everything, and I will click on the New Legal Agreement button. So this is a button that was introduced into this interface by Model Suite. And what this button does is to allows us to start the actual creation process of a brand new document. So will present us the different forms that are required to collect information related to the agreement we want to create, and will assist us during the information gathering for all the information related with this agreement. So I click on this button. I will confirm that this is what actually I want to do. And what the system is now doing is presenting me the form that I'm going to utilize to collect all the information. So this form obviously contains validation. So everything that I'm going to put into this form will be validated against very simple rule or more complex business rules. So this form allows me to specify the title. So for example, SOW automation project for Corp. I can specify a start date, and I can specify an end date and other information related with the SOW that we are creating. I can go and select a customer, so I can pick up a customer from this drop down. And the interesting aspect about this drop down is that the information in the drop down is actually fetched from an Excel document that is stored on the extended ECM for Office 365 itself. So we have an aside Excel document containing the information for these business partners, but obviously this drop-down information, this drop-down can come directly from the ERP, can come from any other data source that is compatible with Model Suite, and there are many. So their Model Suite has the possibility to fetch information from many different data sources and different systems, even querying directly the system through, for example, web services, so SOAP web services or REST API. So let's keep it simple for a time being. So let's just select answer models. I can specify a scope. So here I can, utilizing a what you get editor, I can provide information related with the scope of the engagement that we are creating an offer for, and I can specify with another quite convenient widget the different services fees that and the activities that we are going to apply. So for demo purposes, we have created this demo button that is going to utilize some server-side business logic to fill in the form with demo data. So if we go back to automation, you'll see that we have filled in the form with some demonstration data. What we can do is to, for example, add an additional row here. So 322, say deployment, and here we will specify the rate we are going to apply and the number of hours, and the system automatically computes the total for this row and updates the global total both for hours and money. So what I can do now is to hit the create button and trigger the creation of the actual document. So again, basically from Teams, I was able to collect information related with an agreement that I want to create and put together information that I needed and create a brand new document inside my extended ECM for Office 365. And so that after the document has been created, the system automatically redirects me into the drafts folder where all the documents in the draft status are stored. And the document has been created and has been associated with some category information that contains some of the information that we enter in the form. So we utilize categories here to keep track of some of the information that we have collected. And as you will see, some other information has been stored still in the system and will be made available to us in a second moment. So what I can do from here is basically to to download the document, or if I am, for example, an Office 365 user, I can edit it directly from here. I can edit it with Office Online. In my case, I will download the document and I will open it from my desktop. And as you will see, the document contains all the information that we enter, and we can enable track changes. And so the information related with the account has been substituted everywhere, so both in the body of the document as well as in the header and footer. We have the information about the point of content has been substituted. The information about the starting and ending date has been substituted, and even the terms that we have defined with our what you get editor, and even the table with the different activities. So what we can do is to, for example, change the color of this paragraph, and we can change this one. So we can remove a couple of things, and we can change, for example, Bruce into John Wayne. And once we are done with it, we can re-upload it directly on the system. In my case, as said, if you are working with Office 365, you probably will edit it online directly. But in my case, I just downloaded it on my desktop and re-uploaded it. So now that I have the document and I've basically finalized it, what I can do is to approve it. So to route the document through an approval process that is still part of this application. So the application allows us to create a document and finalize it, and to route internally for approval. So directly from the document, I have another action made available by Model Suite that allows me to directly open the form required to start the approval process for this document. And obviously we have the information about the customer, the scope, so the service fees, so everything that we have filled in. We also have obviously the document in attachment. So the only thing that we need to do is just to start the approval process and send down the request. And once the approval flow is started, we are going to be redirected into the under approval folder, where we apply another Smart Pages in this case, just to provide an overview of all the workflow running. So we can see here all the different running workflows. Some of them have been assigned to us, some of them have been assigned to colleagues. And on the left here, we are utilizing a widget that comes with Smart Pages to provide a quite convenient way to navigate between the content of our template repository and the ongoing requests related with document that we want to approve. So just clicking on one of these requests, that can load the approval form page directly within here, and I can complete the job for the legal step, just either approving or rejecting the document. So if we go back on under approval, you will see that we will also have we have the list, the entire list of documents and requests that are at the moment going on. And what we can do also here is to take charge of this incoming request. So for the legal check, and in the legal check, again, we can review all the information related with the document, the scope, etc. We can specify as a legal officer if, in our opinion, these requests should be routed to the compliance officer for an additional check or not. And we can take decisions. So, for example, approve it or rejected it. And what the system is going to do is basically to again finalize the workflow in this case. So I can delete this workflow is no longer relevant. I cannot longer see the request either nor for legal checks nor for compliance. If we, for example, say this should go to compliance, we will see that this request is going to be associated to the compliance check now. So we have several tasks associated to the compliance officers, and while a legal check has this reduced number of tasks now associated to him. Now, what we can also do now is to go and see what happened to the workflow that we just approved. So while the system was completing the request, a new document has been created. And this new document contains all the information related to what happened in the workflow. So the request that was made, the services that were offered, and the full audit trail related with the workflow. And this is a PDF document generated again by Model Suite in the of creating of finalizing the approval workflow. And the document that we have created, so the document that we approved, has been moved to the final folder. So here we have the full list of documents that were created. And what we can do from here is to pick up the document, and probably what we want to do is, since this is an offer, we might want to discuss it together with our either internal team first, and probably later with our customer. So we want to present it to our customer. So what Model Suite does is to allow you to simplify this process, and probably the offer is not going to be presented by himself. Probably we might want to share with the customer some additional collateral documents. So what we can do is to go and navigate our collaterals. And so, for example, we might want to attach to it in a one-pager document related to Model Suite. And what we're going to do is to again leverage an announcement to the Smart View UI offered by Model Suite. And so we are going to save this document for later, which basically means that we are selecting this document to be later utilized by another action. So we can basically go through our repository and cherry pick whatever we want. And the nice thing is that that action can be either triggered by the buttons that is in the interface, or can be triggered directly from my keyboard. So in this case, I'm selecting documents and I'm heading to the package from my keyboard. So I can again select another document from here, and now we have 3 documents that have been selected to be utilized later on. And so what I can do now is to return to my final folder, pick out this time the document. As said, I want to present within a one-on-one meeting this document to my customer all together with all the other documents that I selected. And to do that, we are going to leverage Zoom, and we're going to leverage the integration that Model Suite offers you towards this system. So as you see, through Model Suite, I've added a new Zoom meeting into this folder. So once I've selected the document, I can just click on Zoom meeting, and that will open a form that will allow me to define the information related with this new Zoom meeting. So as you see, we have all the documents that were that have been selected. I can specify a topic. So say, for example, PS services offered for Acme Corporation. And once I've selected the topic, the system will automatically create on my behalf the invitation email to the meeting containing the information related on how to join the meeting and information related to the documents that we have selected. I can share these documents, again, leveraging Model Suite and the capabilities of Extended ECM. I can share these documents utilizing OpenText Core. So Model Suite has the capabilities to programmatically engage Core to share the documents that we have selected, and I can select internal participants as well as external one. And so demo@answermodules.com, and I can pick up as many users as I want. So Jane at emo.answermodules.com will be another participant, external participants, and I can just, once done, I can just schedule the meeting. So this will create the invitation, will create the Zoom meeting. And what we also did was to create a new collection here that we are going to utilize to keep track of the documents that we have shared. So we are not just sharing each one document separately, but we are also creating a collection so that we can keep track of the reason why we share all these documents, and we can keep track of the fact that even though these documents are coming from very different spaces and very different locations within our repository, they were all shared as part of the discussion we had with this customer around services to be offered to their corporation. So it's a very convenient way to keep this information together and to keep the binding with the existing system. So said that, we had this meeting with the customer, and hopefully everything goes very, very good. And we are now basically ready to have the offer sent to for signature, so we can actually collect customer signature. So again, Model Suite helps us in terms of integrating a signing platform. Can be various signing platforms. So we're currently supporting 2 different signing solutions, and we are going to support other 2 different other signing technologies very soon, and one of them would be CoreShare. So stay tuned. For the time being, Model Suite features an integration with DocuSign that can be utilized in various ways, and for various use cases, from the most simple one to the most complex one. And integration with DocuSign is what we're going to leverage. Again, we're still working from Teams. We have you leverage the remote meeting features from Zoom, sharing documents with our external parties utilizing OpenText Core. And what we're going to do now is to, as the final step in our remote working with extended ECM, is to ask the customer to digitally sign one of these offers. So we are going to select the offer, and we have basically 2 options. We can either use the very generic DocuSign form process definition that we have created, or since we're working in the context of these applications, of these business agreements automation application, we can leverage the fact that, as we have seen at the very beginning, we have associated to the document category some of the information that we were collecting as part of the document creation. And so this document comes with information related with who the third party is. And so what we did was to, again, with Model Suite, create a very application-specific functionality that we can leverage to sign not just any generic document on the system, but to sign specifically a legal agreement stored into this folder. And this functionality, what it does is to automatically pre-fill some of the information for defining a signing process, such as the third party and the and ourselves. So let me substitute here the email for the signing to my email. And what I can do is to click on configure envelope. And what this configure envelope is going to do is to basically send this document to DocuSign together with the information related to the process that we were defining, and is going to take us to the DocuSign interface where we can finalize the procedure. So we can finalize the process, and specifically we can decide where the customer signature and our signature should be collected. So we can go to the final page and say, for Bruce Wayne, I need you to sign here, and for other administrator, I need you to sign here. And when this is done, I can just send it, and I will be redirected back to my extended ECM system, where I can see the document has been triggered. And I can imagine myself going back to the chat for this Teams channel, informing all my colleagues that the agreement has been created, negotiated, approved internally by legal and compliance officers, presented to the customer, and finally signed by the customer digitally with DocuSign. So this ends our journey as far as the remote working with Model Suite and Extended ECM is concerned. As you have seen, so to Model Suite, it's not just a matter of enabling the integration between different platforms, but is also about really being able to define a digital process that leverages all these platforms coherently and allows the user to have a very nice user experience, productive user experience, and to stay focused on what their job is, and to be assisted whenever collecting some information is required, and also be helped by a lot and of automation that is there not just to reduce the effort, and this is very important, but is mainly there also to avoid mistakes and to help governing the process. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I am confident I will see you on one of the other sessions that we have, in which we are going to discuss more in depth some of the functionalities that I will showcase you today, and we're going to discuss how this functionality will put in place in a very, let's say, reduced amount of time and with very reduced effort. Thank you again, everybody.